So there's something that I have really been wanting to talk about. It's been on my heart for a little while, and I don't know why I didn't share it sooner, but here we are. And what I have been feeling that I wanted to talk about is dealing with naysayers. And when I say naysayers, I mean people who can be very negative, judgmental, or even discouraging when it comes to, let's say you want to do something different. Let's say you want to go back to school, you want to get a new position at your job, you want to start a business or a nonprofit, you want to be healthier, whether that's what you're eating, with what you're eating, or exercising, losing weight, gaining weight, whatever. But there's times when we feel like we know that we need to grow or heal in an area, and it could be very disruptive to our norm, so we feel uncomfortable with it. So we look for outside validation, or maybe even not. Maybe we're just sharing it with somebody like, hey, I'm, about to really go hard in a gym, or I want to eat better because I have some goals. I'm going to start this business. I'm going to stop drinking, stop smoking, whatever the case may be. We might just either be sharing it out of just like conversation, or we want to share it because in a way we want validation. And we come across people who just always have something negative to say. And it can sometimes really mess us up mentally. Like, okay, I told them that I want to do this new thing, and they weren't really supporting me. They weren't really encouraging me. They weren't being positive. And maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Or maybe this is too much. Or maybe this or maybe that. And it can really impact how motivated we feel to go through with that change that we're trying to make. And sometimes we'll let what they have to say really mess us up and keep us where we're at. And I've dealt with this in different situations, whether it was when I wanted to lose weight, when I wanted to start a business, when I wanted to leave a 6-figure nursing job because I felt and knew that the Lord had placed something on my heart. Even though I was totally uncomfortable with it at that time, it's like I had to learn that like you can't share everything with everybody. You cannot expect that people are going to be where you're at. And you may be sharing it, again, like in an innocent way. You're not trying to share it to flex on nobody. You're not trying to share it to make people feel like they need to be doing the same thing. You just are honestly and earnestly sharing it. And then based on their response, you're like second guessing yourself, or you're like feeling like, oh yeah, they right. I can't do that. That's too much. I'm not going to be able to be successful. And it can really weigh on us. So like, I just have been feeling compelled to share this because it's been coming up a few times, not only personally, but when I've been having some conversations with people, it's been situations where they feel like they really are not capable of doing what they want to do because of what somebody else has told them. And so I just think it's important to keep this topic just open, and like, let's talk about this, because like I said, sometimes when we know we have to make changes, we're already feeling a little insecure or overwhelmed because we know that we can't keep doing what we were doing. But at the same time, we're letting this other person or these people get in our heads about what we know we're supposed to be doing, and it'll throw us off track. So I just think like understanding that when you choose to heal or grow or do something different, you're going to be very uncomfortable. I mean, that's just what it boils down to. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of people maybe who started something new and different and they were just excited, ready to go, and they felt like totally ready. But then there's a lot of other people who feel like, okay, I'm a little scared. Like, I'm nervous. This is totally out of my comfort zone. I really have to do something different that maybe I didn't even anticipate having to do, but it just got to a point where I'm like, something has got to give. And so sometimes, again, we look for that external validation to motivate and encourage us when honestly, all we need is ourselves. And for me, I'm a spiritual person. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. So for me, it's like if the Lord, if Jesus Christ is telling me to do something, who are you to discourage me? Who are you to say, oh, that's not going to be possible, or, it ain't going to be easy? Like, I know it's not going to be easy. That's obvious. But who are you to say I can't do something? Or it's something that you feel like I have to get your approval for, or I have to get you to co-sign what I'm doing. So, like I said, it's not as if I haven't dealt with this myself to understand. But as I continue to grow, as I continue to go forward in my personal journey, I'm learning that there's going to be a lot of people that will have something negative to say, or have something like that's not supportive. But then once they see you on that road to doing whatever you said you was going to do, now they're on the bandwagon. Like, oh yeah, you know what? I knew you was going to do that. You like, I don't think that's what you told me in the beginning. I think you were the main one saying, girl, you've been saying you was going to lose that weight for the past 5 years. You know you ain't going to lose no weight. But then when you see me slimming down, getting some muscle mass, you want to be like, oh yeah, see, I knew that you could do that. And you really got to think to yourself, like, did she or he, did they really support me? I don't remember that. So I just want to encourage somebody out there, if you feel like it's time, because that's the thing. We know when it's time for change. Even if we may not want to do it, we know that it's like, all right, this is not working for me no more. Like, whatever that something for you is, there's so many different areas in life where we know, like, it's time for me to make a change. I've been talking about it long enough. I've been thinking about it long enough. And I got to do it. I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm overwhelmed. But it's time. Because time is moving fast. Time is moving quickly. So it's like, how long are we going to keep things in our minds, in our hearts, in our bodies, where we know we need to be better, do better, feel better? How long are we going to wait? And I think it's important to have like a few practical steps as to what we can do to, like, when we're in these situations where we know it's time to heal, grow, or do something different, and we're feeling overwhelmed, or we're feeling like we're on an island by ourselves. I think it's important to talk about some practical steps to really help you through that journey. So there's about like maybe 3 things that I want to encourage you to do. The first thing I want to encourage you to do is to surround yourself with people who you know are going to be supportive, because they've done something similar in the past, or they're doing something that is new to them or different, and they can understand like that growth mindset. Okay, making sure that you are really, again, sharing things and surrounding yourself with people who you feel like are going to encourage you and not discourage you. Because again, when you're already insecure about this change that you want to make, the last thing you need is somebody to make you feel like you're crazy or it's not possible. The second thing I want to encourage you to do is to journal. And journaling can be a couple different forms. You can journal in writing. You can journal, like, if you want to record a video of yourself, like talking to yourself, or you can journal like just your voice, like if you do a voice memo on your phone, just to like express the feelings. Because when you keep things bottled in, they're not always going to, you're not always going to feel good keeping stuff in. You need to express that. And the last thing I want to suggest is just to have hope. Don't look at your past or where you're at currently and say, this is not possible. I've been this size for the past all my life. I've been eating like this, drinking like this, smoking like this, whatever the case may be, all my life. I ain't going to be able to do it. No, have hope. And if you can't have hope in yourself, have hope in a higher power. For me, that's Jesus Christ, because I know there's going to be so much that I want to do that I just can't do off of my own strength, because I'm not built like that. Okay, so I believe that if I set good intentions, have positive self-talk, I'm going to be able to do it. And if I have hope and have faith that the Lord is going to bring me through it, that's what he's going to do. So please don't let anybody take you away or make you far mentally away from where you want to be. And I'll talk to you soon.